Now we're going to look at next statement. An intervening dash vowel or diphthong between a stroke or a curve and an initial hook may be indicated by striking the sign through the stroke or a curve. Now, the concept of this statement is almost same as the previous statement. The only thing that has changed in this statement is, in previous statement we saw that how to represent the vowels, the dot vowels, between a stroke or a curve and an initial hook. But in this statement we're going to see that how to represent the dash vowels or diphthongs that comes between the stroke or a curve and an initial hook. And you can see that these are the dash vowels and these are the diphthongs that we have already learned in the previous lessons. Okay, so now let's take a word. Okay, so this is the word Burma. So now we see that first we have this B consonant, which is a stroke, and then we have this R, and between that we have this vowel, which is a sound, because if you pronounce it sounds as Burma. So see, we have this a sound coming, which is same as in much vowel, which is a dash, a light dash. Now how can we write this word Burma? Now, if you see at this part, it says it can be indicated by striking the sign through the stroke or a curve. Okay, so what does this striking the sign means here? So let's understand this by writing this word. Alright, so see, we made this B and R by combining the B stroke and initial hook that represents our R consonant, and then we have this M, which is over here, and then we also have the sound of A, which is a vowel, so that's why we put a heavy dot over here to represent the sound of A vowel. But now we also have to represent this A vowel, and it says that it can be indicated by striking the sign. So striking the sign simply means that we can put a stick like this in the middle. This is what is striking the sign means. So to understand this better, let's take another example. Like we have a word called coarsely. Okay, so let's write this word. And now for a moment we're gonna be leaving this O sound because it sounds as coarsely. So we have this K consonant, this R, and then the rest of the letters, and here we get the sound of O. So for now we'll be just leaving the vowel and we'll be putting this O vowel in the end, right? Because we learned that we always put the vowel in the end. So let's write the word just coarsely like this. Okay, so see, till now this is coarsely because we have this R hook and this K consonant combined, and then we have this small circle which is S, and then we have L, and then the sound of E as in is vowel. Now the only vowel that we are left is O, which is this one. Okay, so how we're gonna put that? As we learned over here, we're gonna strike the sign like this. So now it becomes coarsely. So see, in both of these words, here we get the O sound, O vowel, and here we get the A sound, A vowel. Okay, so both of these vowels are in between of the either a stroke or a curve and an initial hook. Okay, here also in this word Burma, this A sound is, this A vowel is between this B stroke and this R initial hook. Okay, so that's how we strike the sign whenever we have to represent the dash vowel or a diphthong that comes between any stroke or a curve and an initial hook. So let's take more examples. Suppose a word called nullify. So nullify will be written like this. Okay, so see, we have first of all this N, and then this is a sound again, as in much vowel. Then we have this L, then I vowel, as in is vowel. Then we have this F, then we have this last diphthong. So here we can see that we combine both of these so that it becomes null. And then we have this vowel, which is this one. Then we have this F curve, and finally, to get the sound of I, we attach this diphthong. Now we are just left with this a vowel, and because it comes between a stroke or a curve and an initial hook, which is this one, so we'll just represent this vowel like this, and hence it becomes nullify. Let's take another word called lecture. Okay, so lecture will be written like this. Okay, so we have this Lecture. So to represent LEC, we made this L and this K, this L curve and K stroke. Okay, and now the ter. So to represent ter, we attach this hook, R hook, to this T stroke. Okay, and now the vowels. It is sounded as lecture. So see, we have this vowel as in pen. So we'll be putting a dot like this. And then we also have this one, which is a diphthong. Okay, so now we also have to put this diphthong so we can represent it like this. So let's make this word once again. So that's our word lecture. Now, I also want to talk about one more thing here, which is if you're having trouble placing the first place and third place vowels, then you can just add it in the beginning or in the end of any stroke or a curve. So for example, we already saw how to make the word lecture, but what if we had the word lectures? Okay, so lectures will be written like this. So now we saw that we also have this small circle, and because we have to also show the small circle to represent our S, and we also have to represent this diphthong. So now we can represent the diphthong like this, right? So because we didn't have much space to put the diphthong, so that's why we put it in the end. Right, same way, suppose let's take another word called corner. Alright, so first of all, let's leave this vowel, which is O sound, as in not, which is indicated by this light dash. So for a moment, first let's just write down corner like this. Okay, so now we also have to represent this O vowel because it comes between this K curve and this R, which is initial hook. So now we can simply represent this dash vowel like this. Alright, so this is our word corner. Alright, so this was the concept of this statement.